Good morning, everyone. It's a little dark here today, isn't it? Yes, we're out of power. So it got pretty cold last night. Hey, we have the first really good frost. And what? A bird farted on the wire. Doesn't take much here. It used to be uh for a number of years it got much better. First when we moved here, it's like, man, what's wrong with their electric grid here or whatever, right? Yes? Okay, where do we live? Okay. Still, right? I lived in Switzerland. I was born and raised there and left there when I was 20. I don't remember ever having a power outage. Oh, well, that's in the mountains too. Okay, right. Well, anyway. So for a number of years, it was really good. And now it seems like the company has changed some hands and is not even owned by a company in the country. So the last time I talked to someone, I said, "Hey, are we going to be looking at?" Ask first of all. So did that actually change now? The who owns the grid here for the people here? And yeah. I said so. I noticed we were having a lot more power outages again. So I said, is that something we're going to have to just prep ourselves? Because you're just not as good as the one that used to. Okay. And I go, oh, we're working together. We're working together on, this new, okay. Look, best thing is you're prepared for stuff like that, okay? I mean, I could be out there complaining all day long. I still won't have power. It's just the way it is. But the thing is to kind of let them know that, okay, that's a bit comical again, and so be it, right? I'm still paying my bills. Yes, okay. And I'm set up we got a wooden coal stove here. It's cold, but it's interesting too. Our house has been really keeping the heat from just a few days that we had warm out there. So even if we didn't have any heat at all, it would be okay. Just bundle up a little more. Well, anyway, interesting. Yeah. I think the best thing is you're prepared. We have a generator. I don't think you can hear it run. We have a turn off? No. We have a generator that my brother-in-law, I got woke up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock or something. Oh, it's nice and quiet in the house. And then I realized, oh, the reason for it is the power's out. And then I came downstairs and had me get me some water and snacked on a little something. Went back upstairs and I went back to bed. Went back to sleep. Slept great. And then I woke up again and going, I'm hearing the generator. So my brother-in-law, probably not long after I got up, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he got up in this freezing cold, went and set the generator up, hooked up all that, we're well set up, so everything's ready to go. You don't have to look for anything. Hooked up the generator to the refrigerator, the coffee machine, right? Yeah, on the internet. So it's a good generator. I have to say, it runs on about 2 gallons and something for almost 18 hours. Yes, that's not bad, is it? Yeah. Well, anyway, so and we only have the least amount hooked up. The important things like the internet. Anywho, so he gets up, and he doesn't have to. And he gets up, he sets it all up, because sister-in-law has to go to work in the morning. Yes? How nice, right? Isn't that nice? Yeah. Some people don't know how to appreciate that. I'm not going to go into that. I think that there's one thing I thought about as well, is loyalty. Where should your loyalties lie, right? Regardless. Yes? We're all restoring. Okay, some people just live this now, wonder why things are the way they are. Well, I believe that at this time, right, We're all restoring, trying to get back to God's heart to mind, right? Yes? So, of course, there will be things in your family that can, not everything's happy hunky-dory, is it? So you work on that. Your first priority should be to your family at all times. Oh, which family we're talking about? Of course, the one that you are either a mother or a father of. That comes first. If you cannot even show loyalty, the proper care, responsibility to what you created yourself as a mother or a father, you're not going to be able to show any kind of true sincerity and integrity to anybody else, including your own mother and your own father. Okay, had to say that. There, but, all right. So if some people are confused out there about that, well, here it is. And there's nothing wrong with taking a stance and saying, I've got to take care first of what's going on in my own family before I start meddling in someone else's. Right? Yes? Okay. Good. Guys should have seen me yesterday. All right. Hey. People want to fight out there with I don't know what. So they fight for the right things. Right? I don't need a weapon in my hands. Got one right here. Yeah. Okay, and it's not a weapon. It's a teaching tool. There, okay, all right. Okay, let's get going here in 2 Samuel 18. Defeat of Absalom's party. Oh, he didn't win. David reviewed the troops who were with him and appointed commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds to lead them. David divided the army into 3 groups, one under the command of Joab, another... Oh! Looks like the house of Joab is divided in their loyalties. Oh, what was I talking about? All right. Ooh. Because we know this other commander is in Absalom's. Okay, all right. And he is related to Joab. All right. Another under the command of Abishai, son of Zeruiah and brother of Joab, and the third under the command of Ittai the Gittite. David then said to the troops, I shall take the field in person with you. But the troops replied, you are not to take the field. No one will bother about us if we run away. They will not even bother about us if half of us are killed. But you are 10,000 times more valuable. He's good at making kids. What was I talking about before as well? Okay, all right. Okay. 10,000 times more valuable. How? All right. Pooh. Whatever. Ugh, the crap that's in here. All right, I'm all riled up. See, I'm riling myself up again. I had to go upstairs into my little corner and calm down because I knew I was going to say things that I didn't want to say because that's not how the way it is said, right? Anyway, okay, all right. Sorry. I'm not good at hiding things. Other people are. I'm not. I like to take care of stuff. Either way. All right. Does it always work out? No. People have free will. They make their own choices. Done. But you can at least tell them that they're wrong. All right, so David said, I will do what you think best. Of course. Rather than, I've been out there fighting plenty of times. Not leaving just because you guys think I'm so much better than everybody else doesn't mean I'm going to stay home. I'm better. They think that way because I was with all of them fighting. Right? Now, what has David become? Eek. All right. And the king stood beside the gate as the troops marched out by their hundreds and their thousands. The king gave orders to Joab, Abishai, and Ittai, for my sake, treat young Absalom gently. And the troops all heard the king give all the commanders these orders about Absalom. So the troops marched out into the open to engage Israel, and the battle took place in the forest of Ephraim. There the army of Israel was beaten by David's retainers. It was a great defeat that day, with 20,000 casualties. The fighting spread throughout the region, and that day the forest claimed more victims than the sword. Now, oh, why? I have no idea. Was it a haunted forest? All right, we just had Halloween. Weird how the stuff is written down here. Okay. Look, you want me to take all this seriously? Well, then I would have a whole lot more to say. Okay? And kind of taking it on the funny side or a bit on the, okay, what? If David was so strong, why did he leave Jerusalem? The other thing too, David's not fighting with Israel. He has his retainers. What does that mean? Mercenaries? Well, obviously, he's got all kinds of men, right? Even generals from what tribes? Not the tribes of Israel. What is this now? Where's this supposed to go? What a mess. Well, anyway, so here we go. Lots of people dead, and it was a great day. Lots of people dead. It was a great day. Yes, okay. Death of Absalom. Absalom happened to run into some of David's guards. Absalom was riding his mule, and the mule passed under the thick branches of a great oak. Absalom's head got caught in the oak, and he was left hanging between heaven and earth, while the mule he was riding went on. Someone saw this and reported to Joab, "I have just seen Absalom hanging from an oak." Joab said to the man who had informed him, "If you saw him, why did you not strike him to the ground then and there? I would have made it my business to give you 10 silver shekels and a belt." Joab always has his own ideas, doesn't he? The man replied to Joab, "Even if I could feel the weight of 1,000 silver shekels in my hand, I would not lift my hand against the king's son. In our own hearing, the king gave you and Abishai and Ittai these orders. For my sake, spare young Absalom." He said, be gentle with them, whatever that means. Oh, now it says spare young Absalom. Okay, even if I had deceived myself, nothing stays hidden from the king, and you would have disassociated yourself from me. What was I talking about at the beginners? Loyalty. There's none going on, and people know there is none going on. Obviously, by this guy telling Joab, you would have taken the responsibility if I'd have done that. No, you would have stepped aside and said, "Well, I wasn't there. He did it on his own." But here, what is he telling? Oh, why did you not strike him down if you had the chance? Ooh. Oh, weird one. Weird. All right, wait. So, would have disassociated yourself from it. Joab then said, "I cannot waste time arguing with you." A lot of people will say that when they don't know what else to tell you, or they have been found out, they'll say, "Yeah, well, I'm not going to argue with you over that." I don't argue with people when I realize that you have so little faith. You have no idea on what's going on. There's no need to tell you anything else. You've got to go and study on your own first. Grow that faith. Right? Yes? And strength. And knowing. Otherwise, you can't talk to people. There's no way. Right? Yes? It'd be kind of silly to teach a 6-month-old calculus, right? Yes. Okay. Joab then said, "I cannot waste time arguing with you." And taking 3 darts in his hand, he planted them in Absalom's heart, while he was still alive deep in the oak tree. 10 soldiers, Joab's armor-bearers, then came in close, struck Absalom, and killed him. What, those 3 arrows haven't killed him yet? Jeez Louise. Joab then had the trumpet sounded, and the troops left off pursuing Israel, since Joab held the troops back. They took Absalom, flung him into a deep pit in the forest, and raised a huge cairn over him. All the Israelites had fled, dispersing to their homes. Now during his lifetime, Absalom had made and erected a pillar to himself, which is in the valley of the king. "I have no son," he said. Absalom had no kids? "To preserve the memory of my name, he gave his own name to the pillar, and today it is still called Absalom's monument." Oh, interesting. Okay. The news is brought to David. Ahimaaz, son of Zadok, said, "Let me run and tell the king the good news that Yahweh has vindicated his cause by ridding him of his enemies." But Joab said, "Today you would be no bearer of good news. Some other day you may be. But today you would not be bringing good news, since the king's son is dead." Joab then said to the Cushite, "Go and tell the king what you have seen." The Cushite prostrated himself to Joab and ran off. But Ahimaaz, son of Zadok, persisted. "Come what may," he said to Joab, "please let me run after the Cushite." "My son," Joab said, "why run? You will get no reward for your news." But he replied, "Come what may, let me run." And Joab said, "Run then." So Ahimaaz ran off along the road through the plain, outrunning the Cushite. David was sitting between the two gates, the sentry having gone up to the roof of the gate, looked out from the ramparts, and saw a man running along. He just happened to sit up there on his little corner. The sentry called down to the king and told him. The king said, "If he's alone, he's bringing good news." As the man drew steadily nearer, the lookout man saw another man running. And the sentry above the gate shouted, "Here comes another man running along." David said, "He too is a bearer of good news." The sentry said, "I recognize the way the first man runs. Ahimaaz, son of Zadok, runs like that." He did. Really? A sentry knew that. Okay, whatever. "He is a good man," said the king, "and comes with good news." Ahimaaz went up to the king. "All hail," he said, prostrating himself on the ground before the king. "Blessed be Yahweh your God," he said. Well, yep, let's mention that. I was just thinking, no mention of God here anywhere. Here we go, right? Yep. Let's use God to soften the blow. "Blessed be Yahweh your God," he said, "who has handed over the men who rebelled against my lord the king." "Is all well with young Absalom?" the king asked. Ahimaaz replied, "I saw a great commotion when Joab, the king's servant, sent your servant off, but I do not know what it was." Oh! The king said, "Go and stand over there." He stood to one side and waited. Then the Cushite arrived. "Good news from my lord the king." The Cushite shouted, "Today Yahweh again has vindicated your cause by ridding you of all who had risen up against you." "Is all well with young Absalom?" the king asked the Cushite. "May the enemies of my lord the king," the Cushite answered, "and all who rise up to harm you share the fate of that young man." Interesting way to say that. Okay, there you go. Reads like a novel, doesn't it? A bad one in a way. That was 2 Samuel 18. Defeat of Absalom's party. I think the story, right? Again, how do we learn from these type of stories? What was I talking about beforehand? Here is a father and son who are hell-bent on killing each other. They are. They try to not to, right? He says, "Oh, please don't." If he wanted to make sure that Absalom, his son, would have survived, he would have gone with the war party. Right? Yes? To make sure his son would have been protected. Knowing Joab, right? His general commander there. Right. But he didn't. Yeah. Okay. So, we kind of know what David secretly was hoping for. I got to put a little bit more wood in here. And Absalom, though he got the counsel of 2 people who basically had the same idea, to get rid of David as well, right? At least wouldn't take the outright one where where his father would have been just the only one killed, which then could have ensured that he would win. Though I'm not sure either. So, well, we don't know. It didn't happen that way. Anyway, loyalty, first and foremost, stays in the family. And you figure things out within the family. Yes? It is that way because yes, a good ripple, a good family, a family that's loyal to each other and is an example like that, ripples out, doesn't it? Well, how does one work where there's no loyalty? Where it's a wishy-washy kind of thing. Feelings get hurt left and right, and I don't know what. That ripples out too, doesn't it? Yeah. Is that a simple enough example for everyone out there? To not be confused about stuff like that? Okay, good. We got it done then. That dude says. God's love and blessings always. May he protect you. And I will talk to y'all another time.